Hello, we are starting a new series. This is the exam preparation series for SPM students. We'll be looking at how to prepare for your up and coming SPM for the subject of Bible knowledge. First, we'll be looking at the basics. One of the first steps you will need to do is to strengthen your basics. What I mean is that you need to prepare for the recall questions. There are two kinds of questions in SPM Bible knowledge. The first one is the recalling, where you have to remember the verses, the text, what is in the story. It's a recall questions. The other one is HOTS or KEBAT, higher order thinking skill questions. These questions you would have to analyze, you have to know synthesis, you have to, even we have a section C, part 1 questions that are open-ended, okay? Now, coming back to the recall, two things you need to prepare. The first one is to prepare for the context questions. Now, to prepare for the context questions, all you need to do is to answer the past year's questions. You may think that, oh, this is the same as every subject. Does this really help? Let me tell you, when it comes to context questions, just by answering all the past year's context, you would be fully prepared, at least 80% prepared in answering all the context questions. This is all you need to do to prepare for the context questions. There's just one single thing, and that's to answer past year's questions. Secondly, when it comes to the long passages, you see in section C, there are essay questions. Essay questions, a lot of time, they require you to remember the long stories. And the thing is that there are so many long stories in a book of Luke and in the book of Acts. How then can you memorize all these long passages? I'm going to give you a few ideas. The first technique will be to categorize with colors. I will be uploading new videos later on in giving you examples on how to use this technique and how to categorize with color. So this is the first technique. The second technique is by repetitive writing. For a lot of students who are unable to analyze, who are unable to categorize properly, just this method is good enough. All you need to do is write it a few times. I'll show you how to use this technique properly in the upcoming video as well. The third technique is for passages that has to deal with conversations. There are a lot of stories where there are conversations within two persons. How then are you able to remember this more effectively? And the last technique is the technique of putting it into tables or into drawings. Certain stories, there are so many informations, there's more than one person, in fact 3 persons and above, and you need to put all this into tables so that your brain can effectively memorize all these stories. Now, all of these techniques I'll be showing you in upcoming videos, so make sure you subscribe for more, all right? Now, after you finish the recall questions, you need to prepare for the next step. In this sense, you prepare for the HOTS questions. So there are two parts of it. Section C, part 1 is the open-ended questions. There will be one question from Luke, one question from Acts. Make sure you watch the answering technique. We did a webinar recently on how to answer this part of the exam. So watch that video. Secondly, you have to prepare for the other kinds of HOTS questions. For this, I'll give you two techniques. The first technique is to look for similar stories and find the contrast, the comparison, find the similarities. And as you do this, not only are you able to differentiate two stories apart so that you don't get wrong answers or retelling the wrong story during exam, you are also able to look at the significant differences. And here, you are able to prepare yourself to answer any kind of HOTS questions that may arise. The second technique will be the big picture. The big picture is to look at the whole overview of the book of Luke and the book of Acts by looking at the different sections of the book and how it relates to one another. You will be able to find and connect different stories from one portion of the book to another portion of the book, and hence you will be able to be better prepared for HOTS questions. Okay, So that's all. I will be uploading new videos, giving you examples on how to use the techniques that I've mentioned before. So make sure you follow for more.